Shabbat Shalom. Our scripture reading for today is Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10, 11, and 13. Fear you not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your Elohim. I will strengthen you. Yeah, I will help you. Yeah, I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. Behold, all they that were incensed against you shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with you shall perish. For I, Yahweh thy Elohim, will hold thy right hand, saying unto you, Fear not, I will help you.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection today, Stand By Me. When the storms of life are raging,
Stand by me.
when the storms of life are raging,
Stand by me.
when the world is tossing me like a ship on the sea.
Oh, thou
Oh, thou
rulest wind
and water,
and water. Stand by me. In the midst of tribulation, stand by me.
oh, oh.
Stand by me.
When I'm growing old and feeble,
Stand by me.
when my life becomes a burden and I'm nearing chilly Jordan,
Oh,
oh thou
lily
lily of the valley, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me.
The oracles of the UCI, 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you're sealed until the day of redemption. That all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness, or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth. Therefore, let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat Shalom.
which is peace on the Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in this portion of the body. It is, first of all, a wonderful thing to be back in the house. It is interesting how quickly we can take some things for granted. Just with the recent sicknesses and things, the weather, and we've just not been able to be up here in our normal way. You begin to understand how we kind of take something for granted very easily. And we start remembering that once we don't have access to it. And one of the things that we need to make sure that we are not playing the shoulda, woulda, coulda game when it is time to walk away and leave all of this behind and go on the journey that Yahweh has us on. We don't want to be looking back saying, we should have did this and we should have done that and we could have done this and we could have done that. We would rather be haunted with absolutely wonderful memories of what all we did do, what all we had opportunity to do, because we know that when change comes on a great scale, it normally goes bad before it goes good. Yahweh has to first get our attention, and you don't really get attention in a time of prosperity. He gets, our attention when we are going through some of the most difficult times in our lives. So we understand that he had to orchestrate the perfect time to reach us. Well, even though we know that some of us can be, really tough, you have to consider how hard is it going to be to reach all of Israel that's out there in those streets. Do you understand how bad or how strong Yahweh is going to have to move to get our attention? Because just like we read previously, with all of the great way that the sun was turned up and it scorched men and they blasphemed Elohim. But what they didn't do was repent. So no matter what happened, they got angry. They spoke about how angry they were according to what they had happened to them, but not enough to repent though. And it was something that I wanted to say in that. And one of those things, as we talk about what even melanin is for, when we get down to it, the Gentiles with the Spirit don't have to go get more melanin. All they have to do is walk in the Spirit. See, it's the ones who decided that they're not going to repent. This is why they're trying to find another way. If you know you're not going to repent, you can go ahead and start looking for another path. They already know that repenting is not in their future. They already know it's not in their MO. So they are already looking for another path. We don't need to be looking for another path that does not equal us walking in the law, statutes, and judgments that our Elohim has given unto us. Now, today's sermon is entitled The Three Tabernacles, a House Divided. Now, there are certain statements that may seem like it's good, just as we have been put into situations here in the daughter of Babylon where it appeared as though it was good. When the parts of the civil rights movement appeared like it was good. After a while, we then begin to see the negative effects of us taking all of the influential people, the influential money, all of that, and pulling it out of the hood. We had basically poisoned our neighborhoods. Now it's not called a neighborhood anymore. We took the neighbor off of it and just got hood. Now, when did we get hood? Because it was a neighborhood before it was so-called desegregated. Once we went through this so-called period that was supposed to make us better, we dropped the neighbor and just became hood, and now nobody wants to live in the hood. Everybody's drive is to get out of the hood. Where did we get that thought process from? Before, it was somebody else's desire to get us out of our neighborhood, because all of those influential people in one place can really cause and make change. So the whole push was to make sure you can separate those influential people, get them out from among each other. If you get right down to it, Yahweh did the same thing. When he said that all man was together and they said, let us build a tower up to heaven. He said, hey, split them people up. Y'all did the same thing. But he said, split them up among their own people. What happened was you got all of the people getting together saying, all right, let's make us a society of individuals and we gonna do this, that, and the third. So all that man does is watch and say, okay, I'm gonna mimic Yahweh. I'm gonna do what Yahweh did to us, but we're gonna do it to them. We're gonna divide these individuals. We're gonna take all of their strength away, spread it out all over town, and they will have strength, but not collective strength. So there's a statement that we're gonna go over. And then we'll go down into some things concerning that. Now, I've always been a firm believer in limiting the number of choices one has in order to make a timely decision concerning most situations. The more options we have, the longer it takes for us to get settled on a path. I received a question from someone who wanted assistance obtaining some clarity concerning which path to take in their walk. In most instances, our confliction comes from outside influences that we allow to enter in. It is written that a house divided against itself shall not stand. In this case, this individual has no power over the outside influences, but wanting to please two opposing entities and settle what's burning in their own spirit has led them to a three-way stop. This three-way fork in the road sometimes causes us to believe that we can travel all those roads and somehow please everyone involved, but it is not so. Even if there is a sanctified spirit leading each situation, the person who attempts to follow all three partly will never be led fully by either of the spirits and will ultimately become more conflicted than the entities that they are attempting to pacify. It is written that no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or hold to the one and despise the other. Let's begin today's sermon in Genesis chapter 12. Genesis chapter 12, and we're going to read verses 1 through 7.
Now Yahweh had said unto Abram, get you out of your country and from your kindred, and from your father's house unto a land that I will show you.
Now, Yahweh is not just trying to be difficult here. Understand something. This man has an enormous amount of respect for his family. He has an enormous amount of respect for his father. But his father worshipped idols. And there are family ways and traits that we have gotten accustomed to that we have not even questioned. There are some things that we don't even know why our family does it, but we will keep on the tradition. We haven't gone and asked, excuse me, can you talk to Big Mama and Granddad and find out why we do this? Because you go and ask your mama says, well, this is just how we always done it, baby. She don't know. So then you got to keep going up that ladder. But see, Yahweh knows, okay, look, I'm finna get rid of all of that. Why? Because I'm finna send you somewhere else. See, we don't even consider how many of these things he going to have to pull us to the side about. Yahweh is taking care of a multitude of things just by saying, get away from your kindred. Come over here. Because each time he going to get ready to start doing something, and Yahweh going to have to, hey, come here, let me talk to you. Then he going to start something else. Oh, yeah, by the way, come here, let me talk to you. Wait a minute, why you got to keep coming over? Because you got a whole lot of stuff that you don't even understand what it means. You're just repeating what was given unto you. Go ahead.
And I'll make of you a great nation, and will bless you, and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. And I'll bless them that bless you, and curse him that curses you. And in you shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abraham departed, as Yahweh had spoken unto him. And Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran.
Right. So the first thing that Yahweh wanted was to separate him from his kindred. Even though he gets out of the land, he then brings kindred with him. So now this causes Yahweh to later on down the line, there has to be a manufactured separation so that he keeps him away from his kindred. Go ahead.
And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Sychem, unto the plain of Moriah. And the Canaanite was then in the land. And Yahweh appeared unto Abram and said, Unto your seed will I give this land. And there built he an altar unto Yahweh, who appeared unto him.
All right, and Yahweh appeared unto Abram and said, Unto your seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto Yahweh. All right, let's go to Joshua chapter 24. So there are a lot of things that are about to take place. All of that war was they definitely cleared out a whole lot of land, and there was something that was said by the brand new president. He said, well, that stuff's got to be rebuilt, and the people who used to be there, they gone, they dead. I mean, automatically, they are all, I mean, it was like it was normal stuff. People don't even really consider the Palestinians had beachfront property. It's something about beachfront property that somehow finds a way to disappear. It is amazing how beachfront properties somehow change hands without a bill of sale. It is amazing how the disasters, the this, the that, it just happens to happen whenever there's beachfront property. This is amazing. It's like the storms know exactly what a beach is. The fire know exactly what a beach is. Everything knows where the beach is at. And somehow it gets utterly destroyed so that it can change hands very easily. Now, wow, that's interesting. Go ahead.
Joshua chapter 24 and verse 1. And Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Sychem, and called for the elders of Israel, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and they presented themselves before Elohim. And Joshua said unto all the people, Thus says Yahweh Elohim of Israel, Your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old time, even Terah the father of Abraham, and the father of Nachor, and they served other gods.
Okay, so Terah the father of Abraham, the father of Nachor, they served other gods. Now, we like to look at this, and we'll say, that old bad T-Raw, he worshiped those other gods. Yeah, I with the understanding that you have now, pause for a second and look at your upbringing. Your parents served other gods. I don't know what you think. I don't know how you want to read this. Yeah, you want to read this like bad old T-Raw. Bad old T-Raw. No. Go ahead and say bad old Miss Janice. Because Miss Janice was worshiping them other gods and dressed you up to do it too. Right. Go ahead.
And I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood and led him throughout all the land of Canaan and multiplied his seed and gave him Esau. And I gave unto Esau Jacob and Esau. And I gave unto Esau Mount Seir to possess it. But Jacob and his children went down into Egypt. I sent Moshe also and Aaron, and I plagued Egypt according to that which I did among them. And afterward I brought you out. And I brought your fathers out of Egypt, and you came on to the sea. And the Egyptians pursued after your fathers with chariots and horsemen onto the Red Sea. And when they cried unto Yahweh, he put darkness between you and the Egyptians, and brought the sea upon them, and covered them. And your eyes have seen what I have done in Egypt, and you dwelt in the wilderness a long season. And I brought you into the land of the Amorites, which dwelt on the other side Jordan, and they fought with you. And I gave them into your hand, that you might possess their land, and I destroyed them from before you. Then Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, arose and warred against Israel, and sent and called Balaam, the son of Beor, to curse you. But I would not hearken unto Balaam, therefore he blessed you still, so I delivered you out of his hand. And you went over Jordan, and came unto Jericho, and the men of Jericho fought against you, the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Girgashites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I delivered them into your hand. And I sent the hornet before you, which drave them out from before you, even the 2 kings of the Amorites, but not with your sword, nor with your bow. And I have given you a land for which you did not labor, and cities which you built not, and you dwell in them. Of the vineyards and olive yards which you planted not, do you eat.
Right. So Yahweh has a tendency to do the same things over again. So what causes us to not want to walk away is all of the things that we have labored for and built in the daughter of Babylon. But when you consider that as other people are believing that they're getting away with all of their deeds and actions, he's having them build things and plant things for you. So you're going to walk away from one thing that you have labored for and will not get. But you're going to go to a place and get where you did not labor. But if you so busy trying to get that, you say, no, they owe me. See, they owe me for I have labored here. You're trying to get your payment in the wrong fashion. You're going to mess around and get that check that bounceth. Because, you can hound somebody enough, they give you a check. Yeah. Now what that check going to do? That's something altogether different. Go ahead.
Now therefore fear Yahweh, and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood, and in Egypt, and serve you Yahweh. And if it seem evil unto you to serve Yahweh, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yahweh.
Right. There's going to be some decisions that we're going to have to make. Choose you who you are going to serve. Now, at one instance, that's an easy statement. That's an easy decision. But when he starts getting a little bit more pinpoint about, that come from that God. This was about that God. Now, what you going to do? So he's going to make us refine that decision. See, that decision means one thing on the surface. The deeper we start to go into that, you're going to find a whole lot of people walking around calling Yahweh's name. They're not trying to worship Yahweh like that. Because eventually it begins to cramp their style. What do you mean I got to stop doing this? At the other place I used to go, they said that, you know, depending on like what kind of pork you eat, they said you can eat some of that. What? Okay. Go ahead.
And the people answered and said, Elohim forbid that we should forsake Yahweh to serve other gods. For Yahweh Elohim, he it is that brought us up and our fathers out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage, and which did those great signs in our sight, and preserved us in all the way wherein we went, and among all the people through whom we passed. And Yahweh drave out from before us all the people, even the Amorites which dwell in the land. Therefore will we also serve Yahweh, for he is our Elohim. And Yahshua said unto the people, you cannot serve Yahweh, for he is an holy Elohim. Mm-hmm. He's a jealous Elohim. He will not forgive your transgressions nor your sins. Mm-hmm. If you forsake Yahweh and serve strange gods, then he will turn and do you hurt and consume you after he has done you good.
Right, and nothing is more disruptive than receiving good, then forgetting where the good come from, and now he's got to take that same power that he blessed you with and then come back and hurt you. Now they're being warned. Go ahead.
And the people said unto Yahshua, no, but we will serve Yahweh. And Yahshua said unto the people, you are witnesses against yourself that you have chosen Yahweh to serve him. And they said, we are witnesses.
We don't even know what we be saying. Yeah, we just think we saying some stuff. We be witnesses. Okay? All right, now you witness against yourself. Wait a minute now. So if you witness against yourself, what he need more witnesses for? So then when we find ourselves in court and we say, well, this is unfair. Oh, no, I don't need no witnesses for you. What? No, but see, the law said, wait. Didn't you agree that you had witnessed against yourself? Man, this was in the beginning, man, when we got into this, remember? This was your people, right? Now, why you standing up in court talking about how unfair it is that it wasn't no witnesses, but somehow you still getting convicted? See, when you don't know all the parts of the covenant, now you're taking bits and pieces of it and don't understand. Remember, it says, all right, now you're going to take that same power and you're going to turn around and do you hurt. Go ahead.
Now therefore, put away, said he, the strange gods which are among you, and incline your heart unto Yahweh Elohim of Israel. And the people said unto Yahshua, Yahweh our Elohim will we serve, and his voice will we obey. So Yahshua made a covenant with the people that day, and set them a statute and an ordinance in Shechem. And Yahshua wrote these words in the book of the law of Elohim, and took a great stone, and set it up there under an oak that was by the sanctuary of Yahweh. And Yahshua said unto all the people, behold, this stone shall be a witness unto us. For it has heard all the words of Yahweh, which he spake unto us. It shall be therefore a witness unto you, lest you deny your Elohim. So Yahshua let the people depart, every man unto his inheritance.
Let the people depart, every man unto his inheritance. But what he wanted to make sure, all right, now, before you go, let's go ahead and have this conversation. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 12. Because see, we know over time, our effort in things change. You know, just not being able to get to our little sanctuary, it changes some things. See, sometimes, it has to be a little absence to make the heart grow fonder. Because you know what happens with us? Familiarity breeds contempt. The more we get comfortable with something, the more contempt we have for it. So sometimes you got to put a little space in there for us to then understand, okay, well, no, it is a good thing. Go ahead.
These are the statutes and judgments which you shall observe to do in the land which Yahweh your Elohim of your fathers give you to possess it all the days that you live upon the earth. You shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which you shall possess serve their gods, upon the high mountains and upon the hills and on every green tree.
Okay, so listen to what's being said, because it is a statement of responsibility. You shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which you shall possess serve their gods. Wait a minute. You are now in control. You going in and you taking the land that I have given unto you. Now check that out. Yahweh says, I've given it to you. Now go take it. Yahweh something else. Now, when he give it to you, do not get it misconstrued and think, it gonna lay down and die for you. And that's how we do anything. We say, I found me a wife. That's all right, good. Now go figure her out. What? I gotta figure her out? But she confusing, Yahweh. Yeah, I know. Go figure her out. He said, I just gave it to you. I didn't tell you I was going to figure out for you. You got to do that on your own. I said, yeah, maybe you should go ahead and build you another shed out there. It's going to be a little rough trying to figure out. All right, go ahead, bro.
And you shall overthrow their altars and break their pillars and burn their groves with fire. And you shall hew down the graven images of their gods, and destroy the names of them out of that place. You shall not do so unto Yahweh your Elohim, but unto the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose out of all your tribes to put his name there, even unto his habitation shall you seek, and thither shall you come. And thither you shall bring your burnt offerings and your sacrifices and your tithes and your heave offerings of your hand and your vows and your freewill offerings and the firstlings of your herds and of your flocks. And there you shall eat before Yahweh your Elohim, and you shall rejoice in all that you put your hand onto, you and your households, wherein Yahweh your Elohim has blessed you.
Now, so part of the things that we saw on Sunday morning was correct. When we looked and they were dancing and having a good time, part of that was correct. They were just doing it at the wrong time. So the worship part is supposed to be there. The servitude is supposed to be there. But it's also supposed to be a place where you rejoice, where you do party. You just ain't supposed to be partying during the Holy Convocation. It ain't supposed to be at the same time. I mean, if you want to see a bad design, if you go in the house and you look and you say, man, this is an enormously wonderful kitchen. And then you say, what that do? And you open it and it's the bathroom. Hey, something wrong with it. Hey, look, hey, I don't think this, who did this? Now you throw it off, you come home and you say, oh, baby, what's that smell? You've been cooking. And then somebody come out the bathroom, you say, you know what? I don't even want to eat no more. Baby, what are you cooking? Nah, that ain't mine, baby. That was him. He just came out of the room, man. There's something wrong with that design. There's something wrong with that. Go ahead, bro.
You shall not do after all the things that we do here this day, every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes. For you are not as yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which Yahweh your Elohim gives you. But when you go over Jordan and dwell in the land which Yahweh your Elohim gives you to inherit, And when he gives you rest from all your enemies round about, so that you dwell in safety, then there shall be a place which Yahweh Elohim shall choose to cause his name to dwell there. Thither shall you bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes, and the heave offering of your hand, and all your choice vows which you vow unto Yahweh. And you shall rejoice before Yahweh Elohim, you and your sons and your daughters, and your menservants and your maidservants.
So this is not just about holy convocation. You shall rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim. See, Yahweh don't want to say, okay, set up a house for my name, but then you just march in the house, like little baby robots. You just move on. No, Yahweh want to look down at his house and see, look at them laughing and playing over there. That's my house right there. Go ahead.
And the Levite that is within your gates, for as much as he has no part nor inheritance with you. Take heed to yourself that you offer not your burnt offerings in every place that you see it.
Now, if you offer everything in all these other places, you have now made his place not special. Now remember, now he's a jealous Elohim. So, and we don't even consider now, even when we go to gather, because we got our certain little spots where I'm gonna watch the game over here, I'm gonna watch the fight over here, I'm gonna do such and such things. Now, what we never consider, does Yahweh get a little bit of jealousy when he look down? What you doing over there? Oh, you brought the good drink over there too. That's the one with the green label. That. Oh, okay. All right. That's that. And you put on your good shirt too. Look at that. I ain't seen that shirt in a long time. He ain't even wear that shirt while I was around. But I see you wore it over there.
Come on, teacher.
That's nice right there. What's that? Let me feel that. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. All right. Go ahead, bro.
But in the place which Yahweh shall choose in one of your tribes, there you shall offer your burnt offerings, and there you shall do all that I command you. Notwithstanding, you may kill and eat flesh in all your gates, whatsoever your soul lusts after, according to the blessing of Yahweh Elohim which he has given you.
Wait a minute. According to the blessing that he's giving you, according, whatever your soul lusts after. Wait a minute now. He ain't talking about offering stuff now. Now, wait a minute. Now he's talking about you. Hey, wait a minute. I should be able to look and find you kicking it at my house. Go ahead.
The unclean and the clean may eat thereof, as of the roebuck and as of the hart. Only you shall not eat the blood. You shall pour it upon the earth as water. You may not eat within your gates the tithe of your corn, or of your wine, or of your oil, or the firstlings of your herds, or of your flock, nor any of your vows which you vow, nor your freewill offerings.
Okay, so wait a minute. So now he's saying, wait a minute, there's certain things that are supposed to be dealt with in Yahweh's presence. He said, wait a minute, now you can't do that in your spot now. Now you can't do that. Now, I was asked a question by somebody who was in between a situation because, they're in the midst of somebody else's split up, which now has them wanting to congregate in 3 different places. Well, when Yahweh then begins to say, all right, bring your first fruits, which one of those places will your first fruits go? Now, if you decide, well, you know what, I'm gonna put the fruit in all 3 places. So I'm gonna put 1 grape here, and I'm gonna put 1 grape there, and I'm gonna put 1 grape here. All right. What if he only count one of those places and said, no, what you did was you robbed this place of 2 grapes. I don't give a damn what you thought you were doing. Read, bro.
Or heave offering of your hand. But you must eat them before Yahweh Elohim in the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose, you and your son and your daughter, and your manservant and your maidservant, and the Levite that is within your gates, and you shall rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim in all that you put your hands onto.
In all that you put your hands onto. And sometimes, jumping from place to place gives you that opportunity to never fully learn any of the places. It is better to fully do something until you are fully done so that you can fully start something else. But what happens when you jumping and jumping and jumping and then you realize, hey man, some atrocity happened. When happened? Oh no, you weren't here that day. I mean, you don't even know what happened. Why? You weren't here that day. You was investigating another place that day. So you wasn't even aware of what happened. So then even when you go back in circuit, now you still are not even knowledgeable of what's happened because of the constant rotation. I remember my elder lit into me one day while I was going I go to church one week, then I go to the Little League Park next week, then I go to church next week, then I go to the Little League Park next week. And he just sat back and peeked me out and waited till the doggone hall was full one day. Walked past me, spoke to me like everything. Shabbat shalom, Zach. Shabbat shalom, man. He got all the way to the other end of the hall, turned around, hall packed. You need to leave that damn football alone. I was like, you couldn't have said that while we were, I was right here. I mean, you could have leaned over to it, brother. You know what I'm saying? It could have been a candlelight. You should leave that football alone. I mean, it was something. I mean, he could have done that in a better way. But apparently, he did it in the right way. Because I had to make a decision at that point about what I was doing, jumping back and forth. And part of that, I know that we have to do things for the kids, but that part wasn't about the kid. That was about me. I let the kid do what the kid do. All right, now let me let you know. I ain't going to be there every week. I'm telling you now. You know what I'm saying? Play well. May the force be with you. Hey, look at, hey, I got some business. I got to take care. I must be about my father's business. All right? I must be about my father's business. I don't have any choice in the matter. It's how I'm wired is what I do. So, look here. Represent the family. All right. That's about as deep as I can go with that. But the decision had to be made because of what I was allowing it to do. And I figured that out one week when I came in, and I was so angry, I brought another spirit with me. I was so angry about what happened at the game, because, they had an early game, so I figured I'm good. I went to the early game. I can go to the early game and still keep the Shabbat. Boy, ain't I doing it? Yes, I am. So I didn't look around, and I got the maddest group of people in the car with me. Everybody in the car pissed off. And we finna take that spirit and walk through the door. I say, hey. Everybody look at somebody else's face. Don't even worry about yours, 'cause I can tell you. Look at the other face, and that's what yours look like. You don't need to look in no mirror. Just look at the other face right there. Now, is that fair to our Elohim or to any of these people that we finna walk in there with that? Who is that fair to? So if we can't decompress, we need to go ahead and turn that blink on and turn the other way. We got to find a way to do this. We can't do this. That's when I know, all right, I'm going to have to do something different here, because I can't go in, with that kind of spirit. And each person have to learn their own self. I'm one of them people, even when they take my blood pressure, dude told me, look, don't talk. He said, man, everything you do make your blood pressure go up. He said, you don't need to do nothing but breathe. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. If you talk, your blood pressure going up. He said, you move your left leg, your blood pressure went up. You move your right. He said, God, I tried to figure out why you keep doing this. He said, at that point, I'm just getting info. I said, what? He said, because I want to see everything I make you do. How it's going to keep, what's the difference in if you doing something or not? And he said, I ain't never really just seen people have a normal conversation. And they go up. I'm just one of them, as they call, an excitable nigger. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be careful where you take that power and where you put it, because you'll let somebody else influence that. And now that power is now being delivered over here unintentionally, but that power is coming over here and it's coming the wrong way. And I realize I need a little bit more decompressed time than, let's say, a normal Negro. You know what I'm saying? See, we just got through saying we was substantial Negro. All right, so sometimes you got to know that you might need a little bit substantial decompressed time before you get in front of somebody else. At least you bring the wrong energy. But then again, that's another spirit. Okay? None of these other people had to worry about where they were going to go after that. They can get as upset, they can get as riled up, they can get whatever they want to get. They're going to still hang around other people who are in that circle. You getting ready to go to another circle. You have to decompress before you do that. Or you going to feel justified when you bring that energy over there. And then think something wrong with them. Go ahead, Brady.
That was the end of that.
All right. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 16. Deuteronomy chapter 16, I want you to read verses 5 through 7.
You may not sacrifice the Passover within any of your gates, which Yahweh your Elohim gives you, but at the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose to place his name in, there you shall sacrifice the Passover at evening, at the going down of the sun, at the season that you came forth out of Egypt. And you shall roast and eat it in the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose, and you shall turn in the morning and go on to your tents.
All right. Now let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 26. Deuteronomy chapter 26, and let's read verses 1 through 15.
And it shall be, when you come in onto the land which Yahweh your Elohim gives you for an inheritance, and possess it, and dwell therein, that you shall take of the first of all the fruit of the earth, which you shall bring of your land that Yahweh your Elohim gives you, and shall put it in a basket, and shall go on to the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose to place his name there. And you shall go on to the priest that shall be in those days, and say unto him, I profess this day unto Yahweh your Elohim, that I am come unto the country which Yahweh sware unto our fathers for to give us. And the priest shall take the basket out of your hand, and set it down before the altar of Yahweh your Elohim. And you shall speak and say before Yahweh your Elohim, a Syrian ready to perish was my father. And he went down into Egypt, and sojourned there a few, and became there a nation, great, mighty, and populous. And the Egyptians evil entreated us, and afflicted us, and laid upon us hard bondage. And when we cried unto Yahweh Elohim of our fathers, Yahweh heard our voice, and looked on our affliction, and our labor, and our oppression. And Yahweh brought us forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand, and with an outstretched arm, and with great terribleness, and with signs, and with wonders. And when he had brought us into this place, and has given us this land, even a land that flows with milk and honey, and now, behold, I brought the first fruits of the land, which you, O Yahweh, has given me. And you shall set it before Yahweh your Elohim, and worship before Yahweh your Elohim. And you shall rejoice in every good thing which Yahweh your Elohim has given unto you, and unto your house, you and the Levite and the stranger that is among you. When you have made an end of tithing all the tithes of your increase, the third year, which is the year of tithing, and has given it unto the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, that they may eat within your gates and be filled, then you shall say before Yahweh your Elohim, I have brought away the hallowed things out of mine house, and also have given them unto the Levite and unto the stranger, to the fatherless, and to the widow, according to all your commandments which you have commanded me. I have not transgressed your commandments, neither have I forgotten them. I have not eaten thereof in my mourning, neither have I taken away aught thereof for any unclean use.
And let me tell you something. This right here gets difficult because, see, once we start going through something, we start forgetting that we have something that's hallowed or sanctified for a totally different purpose. Go ahead.
Nor given aught thereof for the dead. But I have hearkened to the voice of Yahweh my Elohim, and have done according to all that you have commanded me. Look down from your holy habitation from heaven, and bless your people Israel, in the land which you have given us, as you sweareth unto our fathers, a land that flows with milk and honey.
Right. And let me tell you something. The nations are witnessing the utter destruction that has taken place in what is called the Holy Land. Everybody know that ain't the holy people. They have all but let everybody know. And let me tell you something. Those people can't just openly come out and say that. But people are watching and saying, no, come on, man. Come on. The level of destruction to the point where it is destroy everything in sight and just make it so it's unusable. Every part of it. This means that now, if you've already starved these people, you've already done all of this. Those people can't do the work. Then you gonna go in there, and if they're rebuilding it, understand how they gonna build it. Surveillance on every floor. Before, they can't see what's in the building. They can see that building, but they can't see what's in the building. They're gonna be able to see what's in every building now. No, they finna build it their way. They made sure that it is knocked down to the point that you got to completely gut it. And of course, they're going to give those contracts to their friends. Interesting. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12. Matthew chapter 12, and let's read verses 22 through 32.
Matthew chapter 12 and verse 22. Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb. And he healed him, insomuch that the blind and dumb both spake and saw. And all the people were amazed, and said, Is not this the son of David? When the Pharisees heard it, they said, This fellow does not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils. And Yahshua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand.
Every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So then the adversary has been doing this enough to us. We got to try not to do it to ourselves. They've been doing it to us. Part of taking everything usable out of school was all about dividing our house. It was just normal. If you went to high school, you had shop, welding, music. There were so many different things that you were able to just go to school, and one of those things, if you just latched on to auto body, you can feed your family. If you just latched on to welding and say, you know what, I don't want to do that. This is the only thing I like to do in school, welding. You would be able to take care of yourself for the rest of your life right now. And you never paid any money to go to anybody's college. You learned it all right there. Every generation had this. And then all of a sudden they said, no, we got to take this away. Beginning of the destruction of us right there. And we fighting for all these things, and the simplest things are what's destroying us. Now, we got to contemplate spending all of this money and getting a loan to go to school. So what the hell would the last 12 years for? So you telling me I done went to this school for 12 years and I'm dumb as a box of rocks now? Now I need to come up with about 30 grand so I can be smart again? What the hell I just do for 12? Yet before, we had people coming out of high school and they taking care of their family right out of high school. My mama has a high school diploma. Yet doing what she did, she retired. You ended up having to have a bachelor's degree before you can come sit down in front of her. But she graduated from high school in Southside ATL. Oh, they made sure you can't do that no damn more. They don't even TD kid cursive writing. You look at cursive writing, the kid said, "What is that?" The kid want to know what kind of Klingon you got going on right here. Daddy, you ain't tell me you knew Spock? This is the kid. And everybody did this when I was in school. Right? Go ahead, Brady.
You know, Elder, the thing about it is, like you're saying, now you do 12 years and it's extra 12, when within 9, 10th, 11th, 12th, them 4 years you have to do after high school to get a degree was 4 years that was in high school where you were taking these courses, because it would be 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And to be honest, I had the opportunity for something as complicated as airplane mechanics in high school. That was being offered.
Wow. Well, you see how far that done changed. Now you going to somebody's school and you paying some money. This is the game of capitalism. To so-called deregulate everything and charge you for what you already paying for. Wait a minute, didn't I already pay for this? So where all these programs that's supposed to be in the school? Man, I went to the country and found out, I get down there and they welding program is amazing. I said, man, what is this? They said, this shop class. I go out, man, the stuff that they building in there is amazing. I was like, students did this? Students are welding. That was one of the, now understand, by that time, all that stuff was already gone out of Atlanta. I went to the country, it was still there. See, at least in Atlanta, they had a place called OEC, where they had a little place at the college. So they said, all right, we ain't gonna have it. This was when they was slowly pulling it away, and they didn't tell us what they were doing. All right, so you had to go to a college campus, but that would be, the schools would bus you over there. Then eventually, of course, they cut that out, and they had already cut it out of the school. So now it's completely lost. Now you want to do any of that, you're gonna have to do that on your own. That was a way of making sure that there's a big division, that there's a divided house. They've been playing this game with us for a very long time. Go ahead, Pri.
Verse 26. And if Satan casts out Satan, he's divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? Therefore, they shall be your judges.
Right. We don't even understand how deep it was that they took the music out of school. Go back and look at some of those bands that your mama and daddy listen to. Hey man, they playing damn near classical music, Jack. They playing like an orchestra, and all them dudes went to school together. You look up, them dudes was in school together. You say, okay, how y'all know each other? You find, look at Babyface and Darryl Simmons, and these brothers produced for Whitney Houston. Man, them dudes went to school together. They say, oh, no, we can't keep doing this. We giving them keys out of here. Because, see, once they learn notes, these people, see, they got that melanin. See, these people, notes do something different when they play it. Say, no, we got to take this out of here. So now you got to pay somebody to teach your kid how to play piano and how to do all of those. All you had to do before sending them to school. Man, we had chorus in school. I learned how to play the trumpet in school. I learned how to read music in school. Now you got to pay somebody. Now it's the well-to-do people whose kids know how to do that. Man, every kid know how to do that when I was little. All us was in chorus. All us was carrying an instrument walking home from school. Right, they've been playing these games with us. And we fighting and don't even know what things we should be fighting. We should have been fighting, hey, y'all put this back in the school. But we all fighting something else.
Come on, teacher.
We should be standing at that school, look, hey, didn't we pay y'all this right here? Hey, put the damn quarters back in here. Put the damn wood shop back in here. Put the welding back in here. But we somewhere else. Go ahead.
Well, part of the problem is we didn't realize we were paying for them things because we just see it as, oh, that's what my kid want to do. Because all them programs you talked about, the first thing they wanted was your social security number because that's what paid for those courses. That's where the funding came from. They needed every child's social security number to fund them being in that class. Where the money coming from? Was being put into the system already by your parents?
And now they done found a way for us to pay for everything else. Cause then our folks go to these universities and pay. They keep making the facilities better for other individuals. Our folk playing ball for free, getting the leg knocked off, getting the head knocked off. What happened? These other universities end up having the best labs, the best computers, the best everything, because we out here putting our bodies on the line. But what it's going to do? Make everything better for the other people coming after them. We don't get nothing out of it. This is why they have been pushing for this whole name and licenses thing so that, some of these players can get some money. That we have all but made schools amazing for somebody else. Go ahead, Pri.
Verse 28. But if I cast out devils by the spirit of Elohim, then the kingdom of Elohim is come on to you. Or else, how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house?
Right, and they bind the strong man through regulation. They gonna issue certain regulation. They say, all right, we'll give your family welfare, but you know what, you can't be in there. You a man, you can't be in the house. But you find out something. That rule was only in the city. Oh, I was an unhappy camper when I figured that out. So what you mean? Oh, no. We can't give welfare if a man is in the house. I thought that was universal. Keep going down I-20. Guess what? That rule don't apply no more. Whoa. So you mean to tell me other people who living in the woods down here, they getting the check and the mama, daddy, and the children is in there all together? Yeah. The hell you say? Okay, so this program was just for us. Oh, okay. Same way you find out you got to go in here and get all these emission tests, right? Mm-hmm. Go two counties down. Mm-hmm. Ain't no emission test. Wait a minute, what? But you know how much money we paying for emission? We even got, We had to get commissions. Hey, bro, come here. Let me talk to you for a second. Come here. Not right here in the open, brother. Come on. Let's say, per se, there's a light that says check the engine, and it ain't gonna pass. What per se can a brother do? Because I gotta make it to work. You understand what I'm saying to you? What do I need to do? There you go. Here comes some money up under the table, so somebody can just get a tag that ain't even needed to count us down. Boy, they been playing games with us. Go down to the country, and the one thing you're going to realize eventually you don't see, well, all the damn emission stations. Oh, they don't have them down here. That's just for you. So now your car can't pass. You got to go and pay this money. Now you got to go work on your car. Now you got to go do this. Oh, you got to get about $500 worth of work just to get a waiver. And that's just for this year. That's just for this year. Now you're going to have to do the same thing next year. So then that pushed us. We said, well, we need to get a newer car. And they said, oh, yeah, well, now we know we got you. Because we got that shutdown switch in the new car. That shutdown switch, they can just decide, you know what, he ain't going nowhere past Glenwood. That's it. Turn it off. That's a way of control still. Go ahead.
But the dumbest thing about it is you can't pass the emissions, so we go get a newer car, which keeps you having to take the emissions. When you're 25 and older, you don't have to take the emissions.
Yeah, but you got to make it to 25. Now, you know how old the car is at 25 years? See, you got to have you know what I'm saying, one of them box Chevys, you know what I'm saying, to last 25, bro. I mean, you know, I'm just saying, I got one, you know what I'm talking about? But I'm just saying, bro, you know, that, hey, to go 25, bro, that hair car ain't lasting no 25. You know, that's some heavy stuff. See? But see, I know some people who made sure that they keep an address in the country for that very reason. I'm just telling you what I done told you. Keep reading.
He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathers not with me scatters abroad. Wherefore I say unto you, all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven unto men, but the blasphemy against the Holy Spirit shall not be forgiven unto men. And whosoever speaks a word against the Son of Man, it shall be forgiven him. But whosoever speaks against the Holy Spirit, it shall not be forgiven him, neither in this world, neither in the world to come.
All right, let's go to 1 Kings chapter 18. First Kings 18, and let's start at verse 21.
And Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long shall you be between two opinions? If Yahweh be Elohim, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word.
Right. This is a question that we going to have to ask ourselves. How long halt we between two opinions? See, we say we want to serve Yahweh our Elohim, but we also like the things out there in that world. And what happened is enough tribulation has not come yet. Now, when that tribulation start coming on a different level, this question gonna mean something altogether different. Because see, right now, we still trying to fit in. Well, you know, I want to worship Yahweh, but I mean, you know, I still got to live and be cool. All right. Yeah, when the fire heat up, you're going to be like, you know what, I do want to be cool. All right, you're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out. That's how he going to help you. Don't worry, some help is coming to you soon. Go ahead.
Then said Elijah unto the people, even I only remain a prophet of Yahweh, but Baal's prophets are 450 men. Let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose one bullock for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. And I'll dress the other bullock, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. And call you on the name of your gods, and I'll call on the name of Yahweh. And the Elohim that answers by fire, let him be Elohim. And all the people answered and said, It is well spoken. And Elias said unto the prophets of Baal, Choose you one bullock for yourselves, and dress it first, for you are many, and call on the name of your gods, but put no fire under. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Baal from morning even until noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered, and they leaped upon the altar which was made.
You know, there's sometimes that you look at something, and it really does look like that. Now Baal is the real Lord. But this leaping on the altar, this sounds awfully familiar right here. This sounds like some stuff I swear I just saw flipping through the channel. Go ahead.
And it came to pass at noon that Eliah mocked them and said, Cry aloud, for he's a god. Either he's talking, or he's pursuing, or he's in a journey, or peradventure he sleeps and must be awaked. And they cried aloud, and cut themselves after their manner with knives and lancets, till the blood gushed out upon them.
This is when you done went too far, and you're trying to prove a point that can't be proven, but you can't humble yourself and say, you know what, I think I done went down the wrong path. Go ahead.
And it came to pass when midday was past, and they prophesied unto the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that there was neither voice, nor any to answer, nor any that regarded. And Elias said unto all the people, Come near unto me. And all the people came near unto him. And he repaired the altar of Yahweh that was broken down. And Elias took 12 stones, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, unto whom the word of Yahweh came, saying, Israel shall be your name.
Okay, now, first of all, you have to pay attention to foundation type things where these people have gone to set up something. Elias said unto the people in verse 30, Come near unto me, and all the people came near unto him, and he repaired the altar of Yahweh that was broken down. He ain't just setting up any old thing. Okay? So, you have to pick up certain parts so that you understand what's happening here. Otherwise, you just think they say, all right, let's pick neutral ground, and let's just say we're gonna meet at South DeKalb Mall. All right. Now let's see if your God come to the mall or if my God come to the mall. No, they didn't pay attention to the site. See, Elijah made sure his site was favorable. Go ahead.
And with the stones he built an altar in the name of Yahweh. And he made a trench about the altar as great as would contain 2 measures of seed. And he put the wood in order, and cut the bullock in pieces, and laid them on the wood, and said, Fill 4 barrels with water, and pour it on the burnt sacrifice and on the wood. And he said, Do it a second time. And they did it the second time. And he said, Do it the third time. And they did it the third time. And the water ran round about the altar, and he filled the trench also with water. And it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice that Eliah the prophet came near, and said, Yahweh Elohim of Abraham, Esaac, and of Israel, let it be known this day that you are El in Israel, and that I am your servant, and that I have done all these things at your word.
That I have done all these things at your word. That I have not just done these things, I have done these things at your command. Go ahead.
Hear me, O Yahweh, hear me, that this people may know that you are Yahweh Elohim, and that you have turned their heart back again. Then the fire of Yahweh fell, and consumed the burnt sacrifice, and the wood, and the stones, and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, Yahweh, he is Elohim. Yahweh, he is Elohim.
All right, now, he knew. This is one of the reasons why he told them, no, you go ahead and go first. Because he need for his to be during the time of the evening sacrifice. See, you can't turn around and, all right, now, I want Yahweh to show up for me. But I need to do everything that I can before I ask my God to show up. See, some of us say, you know what I'm saying, I want my God to show up for me. Where you at? I'm in my pajamas in the house. Oh, yeah? So he need to come to your house. In your bedroom. Right there while you're in your PJ. So you're not gonna prepare nothing at all, right? You. So he don't need to do it with you. He need to do it for you. Oh, okay. Interesting. Go ahead.
Ella, what's the song? He's an on-time L.
Uh-huh.
The problem is a lot of times we think that he's not on time, but we're the ones whose timing is wrong. Mm-hmm. Elijah knew what time is Yahweh's time. Now I need to be on Yahweh's time.
Exactly. Are we doing that? Are you constructing something in a way so that it is also profitable for Yahweh? All right, Yahweh, if you give me this, I'm telling you, I'm gonna make you look so good when you give me this right here. I'm trying to told you. I'm trying to told you. All they gonna be talking about is, boy, I tell you, Yahweh sure doing. Yahweh, what did? What I do with what you do with what I do with what you done? Why did? See, how is he going to profit from it? That's why I tell people when they say, well, you know what, I want me a woman, I want to get married. All right, just understand that's something need to be coming out your house. So you mean tell me you gonna tell Yahweh, I just started a family? Well, congratulations. You done started you a family. You got that's so nice. So how much work y'all doing? I don't understand. What you mean you don't understand? All right, before it was one of you. And it was one of you and you did this much work. Now it's two of you. So you're going to be doing this much work now, right? I'm sorry, say what? Oh, wait a minute. So you mean tell me that it's two of y'all and you still did this amount of work? And I'm supposed to accept that? Wait. So it's two of y'all. So you done multiplied. It was one of you, now it's two of you. But you telling me that you got the same amount of work as what you had before? Okay, so there are two people in the field. Okay, hold on. Now, there's an acre of cotton. There are two people in the field. Now, before it was one of you, and you finished at sundown. Now it's two of you. And you still finish at sundown? Okay. Good luck with that one. Let's go to Matthew chapter 17. See, we want to increase but don't want to increase. I'll be damned. How that work? How you get an increase but you don't increase? Boy, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Boy, stop. Boy, we something else. Boy. But then as soon as we get it, we want to tell him, won't he do it? But he want to know when you going to do it. I already know what I'm going to do. I already know what I done. I'm trying to figure out when the hell you going to do. Matthew chapter 17. Let's read verses 1 through 8.
And after 6 days, Yahshua takes Cephas, Jacob, and Johannan his brother, and brings them up into an high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them. and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moshe and Elias talking with him.
All right, so now, you know, this amazing vision is taking place. Go ahead.
Then answered Cephas and said unto Yahshua, Adonai, it is good for us to be here. If you will, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for you, one for Moshe, and one for Elias.
Now, this seemed like a good idea at the time. Now, understand, now this is Cephas, so we talking, this is the man, this is the rock of who the church is going to be built. This seems like a really good statement. There are 3, let's build 3 tabernacles. We will show honor unto everybody involved. Isn't that good? Keep going.
While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them. And behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I'm well pleased. Hear you him.
In other words, I'm going to knock them other 2 tabernacles down. Look at, let me tell you something here. What you thought you was doing was something good, you're about to get yourself into some serious trouble. See, this is where the voice then comes from. So what you going to do with those other 2 tabernacles? This is where there is the perception of something and then the real life application of it. It's good to see us go ahead and get this cut now. This may save his life later on. See, we don't look at situations like that.
You know, I was embarrassed, you know.
I have folks who close to me now and tell me in a minute,
You know, I didn't like you earlier. I didn't like you at all.
they had to dislike me long enough to learn how to love me. Ain't that Hey, bro, it is what it is. It is what it is. Go ahead, bro.
And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their face and were sore afraid. And Yahshua came and touched them and said, Arise and be not afraid. And when they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no man save Yahshua only.
Right. Don't be afraid anymore. You know what I'm saying? Understand now, he did come to check you, okay? All right, now don't say that no more. Now, this is going to help understanding going forward. No, everything here is not for you to make another tabernacle. There's an order of things and deal with that according to that order. But we would automatically say, man, this sounded like a good idea. This idea could have very well gotten him killed. And this is the reason for the power, to let him know, hey, this is my beloved Son, hear you him. We ain't setting up no more tabernacles. See, that's something. So if he would have set this up, how much then is he causing an issue, not just with himself, but with others as well? Let's go to our John chapter 10, Yohanan chapter 10, and we're going to start at verse 22.
Verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem the feast of the dedication, and it was winter. And Yahshua walked in the temple in Shlomo's porch. Then came the Yehudis round about him, and said unto him, How long do you make us to doubt? If you be the Mashiach, tell us plainly. Yahshua answered them, I told you, and you believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. But you believe not, because you are not of my sheep, as I said unto you.
Okay, so now there's a spirit. It says the words that he speak are a spirit. Now wait a minute. There's certain people that cannot believe those words because they are not of his sheepfold. You know, when we were talking about getting us a place, there are some people automatically, I could see the hope in their eyes. There was other individuals that never, ever believed that we were going to do anything other than what we were already doing. They were never of this sheepfold. And and all it took was a little bit of time, and it presented itself that they were never of this sheepfold. Then as soon as we get something, now all of a sudden, now they want to start putting in, you know, take this meat and put it on the building. Take this and go, wait a minute. You didn't believe we were going to do this? You going to put some steak on it? We're going to put some steak on it? You can't go to the mortgage company and look here, I just want to put this steak on it. You know, we ain't got no bread. But I'm gonna put this steak on it. Because if I had some bread, that'd be a sandwich. If I had the bread and the steak. Okay. All right, go ahead, bro.
My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. Mm-hmm. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish. Mm-hmm. Neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one. The Yehudis took up stones again to stone him. Mm-hmm. Yahshua answered them, many good works have I showed you from my Father. Mm-hmm. For which of those works do you stone me?
Which of the works do you stone me for? See, when somebody's entertaining a different spirit, it doesn't matter what you do, they're not going to be happy with you either way. There's no way I could have pleased someone who was automatically entertaining a different spirit. If I came out and got in the trenches, they weren't going to be happy. It don't matter. It don't matter, they weren't going to be happy. Because they're entertaining a different spirit. Go ahead.
The Yehudis answered him, saying, for a good work we stone you not, but for blasphemy, and because that you being a man, make yourself Elohim.
And understand now, people will listen because they don't understand your words or the way that you use your words. They believe that certain things you say make you equal with Elohim. Oh, I done heard that as well. By the same people. Okay. They can't hear those words. They hear one thing while somebody else hearing something else. Okay. Go ahead.
Yahshua answered them, is it not written in your law? I said, you are gods. If he called them gods, unto whom the word of Elohim came, and the scripture cannot be broken. Say you of him, whom the Father has sanctified, and sent into the world, you blasphemous, because I said, I am the Son of Elohim? If I do not the works of my Father, believe me not. But if I do, though you believe not me, believe the works, that you may know and believe that the Father is in me, and I in him. Therefore they sought again to take him, but he escaped out of their hand, and went away again beyond Jordan into the place where Yohanan at first baptized, and there he abode. And many resorted on to him, and said, Yohanan did no miracle, but all things that Yohanan spake of this man were true. And many believed on him there.
All right, let's go to, back up to Yohanan chapter 8. And start that at verse 31.
Then said Yahshua to those Yehudim which believed on him, if you continue in my word, then you are my disciples indeed, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Mm-hmm. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How say you, you shall be made free? Yahshua answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever commits sin is the servant of sin. And the servant abides not in the house forever, but the Son abides ever. If the Son therefore shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. I know that you are Abraham's seed, but you seek to kill me, because my word has no place in you. I speak that which I have seen with my father, and you do that which you have seen with your father.
Right. When you're dealing with something that's entertaining different spirits, it doesn't matter what you try to say to reach it. It ain't gonna be reached. It is entertaining or supping off something else. And this is the part that we don't get. When something is getting fed a spirit from another angle, and you keep trying to reach it, and you saying, well, look, but surely we can work this out. No, they don't want to work that out. They like the other spirit that they getting fed by. Go ahead.
They answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Yahshua says unto them, if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham. But now you seek to kill me, a man that has told you the truth, which I have heard of Elohim. This did not Abraham. You do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication. We have one father, even Elohim. Yahshua said unto them, if Elohim were your father, you would love me, for I proceeded forth and came from Elohim. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me.
Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. But they're not able to recognize any of those dealings. They can't attribute that unto Elohim. He says, no. If you are of Elohim, you would love me. You would see that we are operating in the same spirit. Let's go to Yohanan chapter 14. And Yahshua didn't always make things plain so that everybody can figure it out. See, that's the thing that people don't want to hear. He didn't always make things plain. Matter of fact, they got mad at him. Just say it plainly. Yohanan chapter 14, and start that at verse 23.
Yahshua answered and said unto him, if a man love me, he will keep my words, and my Father will love him, and we will come unto him and make our abode with him. He that loves me not keeps not my sayings.
He that loves me not keeps not my sayings. Go ahead.
And the word which you hear is not mine, but the Father's which sent me. These things have I spoken unto you, being yet present with you. But the Comforter, which is the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things, and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world gives peace, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. You have heard how I said unto you, I go away and come again unto you. If you loved me, you would rejoice, because I said, I go unto the Father, for my Father is greater than I. And now I have told you before it come to pass, that when it is come to pass, you might believe. Hereafter I will not talk much with you, for the prince of this world comes and has nothing in me.
Now, hereafter I will not talk much with you. Yet everybody claimed they talked to God last night. Now we talking straight son of Elohim, doing miracles, doing everything. They said, look here, all right, now I'm about to tell y'all something. Now. I've been teaching y'all, and I'm tell you straight up though. I'm about to turn this phone off. And I'm talking about, ain't finna be no more Metro. I'm finna go ahead and turn the Metro off, so we ain't gonna be talking like that. But remember what I taught you. All right? You got everything you need. Yet, somebody who don't know when the Sabbath is claim that God talked to them every week. He still ain't told you when the Sabbath is, though. But he talking to you every week. Now, he done told his folk. Now, look at I'm telling y'all now, I ain't going to be talking with you now. It's time for y'all to stand on that spirit that I done, you know what I'm saying, that I done anointed you with. It's time for you to go ahead and take care of this business. And you ain't going to do that if I keep coming by here, talking to you, holding your hand. I wanted my elder present with me. But I can guarantee you I wouldn't be as strong as I am now if he were here. I can guarantee you that. There's what I wanted, and then there's what made me stronger. Go ahead.
Verse 31. But that the world may know that I love the Father, and as the Father gave me commandment, even so I do. Arise, let us go hence.
All right, let's go to Yohanan chapter 6. Yohanan chapter 6, and let's start that at verse 53.
Then Yahshua said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you. Whoso eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life, and I'll raise him up at the last day. For my flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. He that eats my flesh and drinks my blood dwells in me, and I in him.
Now, this is coming during a time where all of these dietary laws are in place, and one of the things, blood must be poured out on the ground. That's according to law. Then he turns around and says something talking about drink my blood. You can pretty much go ahead and deal with he is trying to take them off. So people want to believe that, God is so much love that he would never say anything untoward to cause a problem. Now he's purposely trying to piss them off. The same folk that run around talking about they love the Lord would turn around and absolutely go against the real Son of Elohim because they wouldn't like the words that proceed out of his mouth. He's talking to some people who have been raised up saying that blood is to be poured out on the ground. And he turned around and said, drink my blood. Go ahead.
As the living Father has sent me, and I live by the Father, so he that eats me, even he shall live by me. This is that bread which came down from heaven, not as your fathers did eat manna, and are dead. He that eats of this bread shall live forever. These things said he in the synagogue as he taught in Capernaum. Many therefore of his disciples, when they had heard this, said, This is an hard saying. Who can hear it? When Yahshua knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he said unto them, Does this offend you? What end if you shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before? It is the Spirit that quickens, the flesh profits nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit.
The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit. And they are life. This is why they couldn't hear anything that he was saying. They was dealing with another spirit. So when you trying to convince somebody, you don't understand that the words are a spirit. And you trying to convince them, but they dealing with another spirit, they can't hear your word. That's a frequency that they don't have access to. It just sounds like noise. Go ahead.
Elder, sometimes just the fact that it says for every idle word, we don't understand that power in those words. So I just had a brother say to me last night, Kish, you just recently mentioned something to me about taking care of my car. Man, shortly after that, I'm hearing noises coming from my car. I said, boy, I guess I need to keep my mouth shut.
Hey, I remember saying something to a brother about, man, it seems like you sleep a lot, bro. You should get yourself checked out. Next week, they said, what happened? That brother went to sleep and hit a tree in his car. And I've been trying to tell that brother that every week. I said, man, Kish, why do I keep saying I'm going to tell this dude, man, he falls asleep a lot. He should probably get, checked out. Every week, Yahweh, take it again. This has been going on for a couple months. I said, man, what is wrong with me? How is it that when I'm in front of this dude, I can't say what I'm trying to say? I eventually got it. Yahweh was taking it. Shut up, fool. Shut up, damn it. Stay my business, man. Shut up, man. Shut. Boy, I'm going to slap you. I'm going to slap you. Stay out my business. And then one day, Yahweh said, all right, I'm going to let you take care of my business. I didn't figure that out, though, till the next week, until the brother had fell asleep and had that wreck. Then I realized, oh, he wanted me to say it, and then you have the wreck immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So he kept taking it from me. 2 months. I'm seeing the dude, and I'm seeing this dude, not just seeing this dude. This dude coming and keeping Sabbath, and I'm seeing this dude 14 hours a day. And Yahweh take it. All 14 hours. Every week. Shut up, boy. Every week he takes it. And I say, soon as he drive up, man, why didn't I tell that dude I wanted to have a conversation with him? I done had this conversation so many times with him that I'm going to have a conversation, but I every time I try to have it, he takes it. It wasn't time. He wanted that to happen, and Yahweh decided, no. Now this conversation finna happen. Now, for whatever reason, that's above my pay grade. I don't know why he kept taking that from me. But I now realize that it was Yahweh taking it. He decides what we gonna hear. He decides how and when we gonna react. He said, no. He not gonna hear this until this time. And that's exactly how that went. And later on, we kind of got a glimpse of what happened. Because we start asking, yeah, man, I'm gonna set up this, and I'm getting this checked out, and we going such and such. A little time happened, and we went back and asked that question, and never went to the doctor and got that checked out. That's why Yahweh said, shut up, man. Now you can say this all you want. They're not gonna get this checked out. See, there's sometimes some things people have too much pride to go and get checked out. And some of the people who you think are the most humble are the ones who are the most full of pride. Nah, I ain't gonna get no help. I ain't gonna get no such and such. So they'll just sit there and be broken and pretend to be fixed. Later on, I got, oh, okay. That's why he didn't want me to say, because he wasn't gonna go and get it worked on anyway. Okay. Go ahead.
Verse 64. But there are some of you that believe not. For Yahshua knew from the beginning who they were that believed not, and who should betray him. Then he said, Therefore said I unto you, that no man can come unto me, except it were given unto him of my Father. From that time many of his disciples went back, and walked no more with him.
Right. They couldn't walk anymore with him because they were entertaining a different spirit. And they didn't just now get the other spirit. They always had the other spirit. They didn't grow to dislike Yahshua. They had always been against Yahshua. Yahshua just presented the right things to bring it to the forefront. There's some people you skinning and grinning in front of, and they ain't never liked you. And you still playing fetch it. All in front of, hey, how you doing, man? I do. Ooh. They can't stand you. And the first opportunity they get, they gonna go ahead and let you know I ain't never liked you. Okay. Go ahead.
Then said Yahshua unto the 12, Will you also go away? Then Simeon Peter answered him.
See, now he dealing with his real people. See, now he dealing with his folk. See, that's sometimes that you just got to sit there and wait for the pretenders to leave, and then you be like, all right, see, now we finna get this party started. You know what I'm saying? Open that cabinet over there. Yeah. They get the one that got the green label on it. Get it. I've been waiting. Damn, I thought it boy, golly. Go ahead, man.
Then Simeon Peter answered him, Adonai, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life.
There it is. That don't mean they understood it. That don't mean they understood it. But y'all sure was like, hey, look, I can't get this party started. Let me go ahead and get all the pretenders out of here. Will you go also? Okay, well, all right, good. Come on, let's go to work now. Now we can go to work. So that's something that we have to consider. As this weight starts to get down on us, you're going to start seeing some different kind of things. Some people who you didn't think was about that life, you're going to find out that they about it. And some of the people who you thought was about it, you're going to find out they ain't about it at all. Oh, when the heat get turned up is when you start seeing something different. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 31.
$6.95.
Okay. Proverbs 31, and let's start at verse 10.
Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
And I hear a lot of like this is one of the things. And women read this a lot, but brothers definitely, look at this. They said, hey, this is what a woman ought to be. All right, keep reading.
The heart of her husband does safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life.
All right, she will do him good, not evil. All right, she is going to deal with him in a virtuous manner. All right, go ahead.
She seeks wool and flax and works willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant's ships. She brings her food from afar. She rises also while it is yet night, and gives meat to her household and a portion to her maidens.
All right, now brothers be all into this. Now, the part we have to deal with is this is the kind of woman or the wife that we want. Yahweh said the same thing here. This is the kind of wife I want. He said, yeah, we both want the same thing. So when you gonna be that to me? Now we putting our order in. Yeah, I want her to get up early. You know what I'm saying? Her fingers laid a hand to the distaff. He said, yeah, tell me about her again. Tell me about her. She did what? Hey, all right. He said, but you didn't get up to noon. I said to what is... I wish somebody wake my wife up. I said, yeah, come on now. Go ahead.
She considers a field and buys it. With the fruit of her hands, she plants a vineyard. She girds her loins with strength and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good. Her candle goes not out by night. She lays her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff.
Say it, dude. Well, she about that business, ain't it? Right? Y'all ain't like, boy, who is this woman? I wish I had one. Go ahead.
She stretches out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reaches forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She makes herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gate.
Wait a minute, her husband known in the gate? Wait a minute, y'all wait, like, where is she? Go ahead.
When he sits among the elders of the land. She makes fine linen and sells it and delivers girdles unto the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness.
Wait a minute. She speaks becoming. She speaks wisdom, the way she handles herself is so glorious. We say, yeah, I need this kind of woman. Yahweh said, me too. Go ahead.
She looks well to the ways of her household and eats not the bread of idleness.
Oh my goodness, she ain't about that idleness. Okay. Man, Yahweh said we gonna get on the same day nap. You understand? You put in your profile, I'm gonna put in mine. Go ahead.
Her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her.
Wait a minute, he praises her? Wow. That's something right there. Go ahead.
Many daughters have done virtuously, but you excel them all. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that fears Yahweh, she shall be praised.
Wait a minute. See, there's certain things you don't even figure out until you get of age, because in the early days of your life, it's vanity, and you looking at what your eyes are attracted to. Later on, as you start to get real wisdom, you start realizing it's about how it make you feel inside. But how much damage you done to it before you figure that out? All beauty fade. There ain't nothing that started out, you know what I'm saying, 38, 24, 36, that stayed 38, 24, 36. Hell, you, look at your measurement. Hey, look at your measurement, it's like 42, 78, 42. Damn, you pregnant? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. But somehow she done been able to look past that. She don't even see your stomach no more. She don't even see it. She don't even see it. She see you. Why? Because it's all about how you made her feel. Okay. It's a long time before we figure that out. But Yahweh said, I want one. I want something to make me feel good too. And then he gave us a love letter and told us all the things he liked. Go ahead, Pri.
Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates.
Verse 12 says she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. If she speaks evil of him, because what it says, the words that you speak are a spirit, then she's then emboldened other people to speak evil of him. How do we speak about our Elohim? He says, Israel, I'm married unto you. Let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 8. Zechariah chapter 8, and let's start at verse 1.
Again, the word of Yahweh of hosts came to me, saying, Thus says Yahweh of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy.
Wait a minute. You're talking about an intimate relationship when you talk about I was jealous with great jealousy. And how we activate that jealousy, because we will then turn around and do the same things that we supposed to do at his house, we're going to do it at some other house. The same things we supposed to do unto our Elohim, we're going to do it with our friends' God over here. Well, once we did that, we then made this one not special. Go ahead.
And I was jealous for her with great fury. Thus says Yahweh, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and the mountain of Yahweh of hosts, the holy mountain. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. Thus says Yahweh of hosts.
So Yahweh said in his happy place, they're not going to be all sitting there playing PlayStation. They're going to be outside playing in the street. They're going to play like the old authentic way. They're going to actually play football. They'll actually play with the ball. Like, here you go. This is the ball. Throw the ball. Catch the ball. Look at that. Run with the ball. Look at that. Look at that. What a concept. What a concept. This is interesting. Wow, I didn't know they still had this. It's a real, regular, authentic, what was it? Organic playing. Look at that. This is organic. Go ahead.
If it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, should it also be marvelous in mine eyes, says Yahweh of hosts. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, behold, I'll save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I'll bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I'll be their Elohim, in truth and in righteousness. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, let your hands be strong, you that hear in these days these words by the mouth of the prophets, which were in the day that the foundation of the house of Yahweh of hosts was laid, that the temple might be built. For before these days there was no hire for man, nor any hire for beast, neither was there any peace to him that went out or came in, because of the affliction, for I set all men every one against his neighbor. But now I will not be unto the residue of this people as in the former days, says Yahweh of hosts. For the seed shall be prosperous, the vine shall give her fruit, and the ground shall give her increase, and the heavens shall give their due, and I'll cause the remnant of this people to possess all these things. And it shall come to pass that as you were a curse among the heathen, O house of Yehudah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and you shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong. For thus says Yahweh of hosts, as I thought to punish you, when your fathers provoked me to wrath, says Yahweh of hosts, and I repented not, so again have I thought in these days to do well unto Jerusalem and to the house of Yehudah. Fear you not. These are the things that you shall do. Speak you every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates.
Now, just because you speak every man the truth to his neighbor don't mean your neighbor going to be happy with you. See, you know, we look at the one part of it and we say, okay, so this means that everybody going to be, you know, cool. No. Sometimes nothing upsets your neighbor more than you telling the truth. See, we think the outcome of this is just going to be good, and we tell the truth. When it said, you know, the truth shall set you free. It'll set you free of friends, of relationships. Might even set you free of a job. It's going to do a whole lot of stuff. Go ahead.
And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor, and love no false oath. For all these are the things that I hate, says Yahweh. And the word of Yahweh of hosts came on to me, saying, thus says Yahweh of hosts, the fast of the 4th month, and the fast of the 5th, and the fast of the 7th, and the fast of the 10th, shall be to the house of Yehudah joy and gladness, and cheerful feast. Therefore love the truth and peace. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, it shall yet come to pass, that there shall come people, and the inhabitants of many cities, and the inhabitants of one city shall go to another, saying, let us go speedily to pray before Yahweh, and to seek Yahweh of hosts. I will go also.
Stop. Do you think any other people all over the world are saying that right now? Let's all go over here because we have heard that God is with these people. We're going to go over there and worship right beside where the bombs drop. There's something wrong. Why is the earth not saying that? If you have been a prison since 48, it's 2025. How is it that after all this time, we still ain't hearing the people of the earth saying, hey, we're going to go over here with you, for we have heard that Elohim is with you? Why are we not hearing that? What we keep hearing is about how somebody had a right to defend themselves in everything that they do. I keep reading it. I ain't ran across that phrase in here nowhere. That the people going to say you have the right to defend yourself. Well, I keep reading it says that the people going to be saying some stuff. And I tell you, after 70-some years, I still ain't heard the people say it. Now, why ain't they saying it? Go ahead.
Yes, many people in strong nations shall come to seek Yahweh of hosts in Jerusalem and to pray before Yahweh.
Why are they not coming to pray before Yahweh? Surely they had time to set up everything that they need to set up. I mean, do you need 100 years to set up what the problem is? Go ahead.
Thus says Yahweh of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Yehudim, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that Elohim is with you.
We will go with you, for we have heard that Elohim is with you. Why are we not hearing it? There's been ample opportunity to set up whatever it is. And if you can set up all of these other things, then surely this should be easy. The Spirit should be with you to make this happen. If indeed the Spirit of Yahweh is operating in that land. These are some things that we're going to have to wrap our heads around. No matter what job, no matter what things we have to make happen, understand the end result is that it is supposed to be a joyful house unto to all nations. And if the work that we're going to do is not leading unto that, then we just like the heathen. That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.